to the April 27th meeting of the Prince George's County Cable Commission. I'm Tom McLeod, your chair, and I'll ask my colleagues to introduce themselves.
Basil.
Doris McMillan.
Mike Thompson. Samson Afolabi.
Thank you all. We'll move right into the agenda for the evening. The first item is the approval of the March 23rd meeting. I'd entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
I move that we accept the minutes from March 23rd, 2016.
So moved and approved. Any discussion, comments? Thank you. Then we move into action items. First item are our monthly reports.
There are no action items at this time. The monthly report for the month of March 2016. For Verizon, we have 14 open calls. We have 13 closed calls. There are no outstanding and one suspended. For Comcast, we have 13 open calls and we have 13 closed calls, 0 outstanding and no suspended. At this time, there are no outstanding calls for both Verizon and Comcast. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions, comments from the commissioners? Hearing none, the next agenda item is the Community Television of Prince George's County report, please.
The PGCTV report was previously submitted and accepted.
Any comments, questions on the report? Thank you. We are now moving into our public comment.
For the public comment, I have Ms. Carol Taylor. You may go ahead.
Oh, okay, you want me to say what I, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I am having a problem with Comcast, both my house and my business. Last year, I think it was June, somewhere around there, I don't remember my date, I had a client that came in my salon and was talking about Comcast have this special going for $150-something a month, including TV, camera, and internet and everything, the whole package. And I immediately have my client to call Comcast because I was with Verizon for over 18, 19 years. And because of the special, I wanted to switch. They set up my appointment, they came out to my house and they installed slappy work, put holes in my walls, the pad for the camera was leaning off the wall. After they left, I had several problems. I called them, they came back out several times, they didn't do a good job. First, when I got the camera, I told them my reason why I need a camera, which I don't think I want to say my reason on national.
There's a camera that will monitor?
Mine,
Okay.
yes.
Right.
Yes, because I'm on almost 2 acres and I have some domestic problems.
Right.
Okay. And they told me that the camera, when the guy came, he put the camera in, he told me the camera record 24/7. And told me I could stay at my work and I could also monitor the camera. One day my son, my 16-year-old, was at home and he asked me to order some pizza for him. I did. I ordered the pizza, have it delivered from Domino's on Main Street. And when the pizza came, and when I got home that night, the next day, I noticed one of my car was damaged on my driveway. So I told him, I asked my son, I said, what's wrong? You know, how comes the car damaged? He said, Mama, I don't know, let's check the camera. When we checked the camera, it was nothing. The camera doesn't record. I called Comcast, I said, what happened? Y'all told me the camera record. They said, no man, the camera only recorded every 15 seconds. You have to set it to record every 15 seconds. I said, this is not the reason why I need a camera. I said, I don't need a toy in my yard. I need a camera to secure me and my family in and out of my property and what goes on when I'm not here. They gave me the whole different story. I told them, I think my bill, they told me my bill was going to be $1,300. I'm getting bills for $300 and $400 a month. They cut my service off. I I had to pay it. Once I paid, I told them, I said, if the camera doesn't do me any good, what I want it for, I don't need it. The camera has not been on since February of this year, and I'm still getting bills for the camera. I called Miss Gina, and I talked to her about it, and she emailed them. And one young guy from Baltimore called me at my job, and very, very rude, and telling me he's doing me a favor. The favor that he's gonna do me is that he's gonna cut the camera off, and the money that they've been paid per month, he's not gonna refund me. I said, you're not doing me any favor. I need my money. I'm a single mother. I need my money. That you're charging me for something I've not been used. I'm not using it. And he was just nasty. Haven't heard from him since. I called up Miss Gina and I told her what's going on. At my business, the lady came from the business department at Comcast, and she wrote on the paper, which I left the paper, I didn't have it, that I'm gonna have this service for $158 a month. She wrote it on the paper. I said, are you sure? Because I'm with Comcast, I'm with Verizon all these years, and I have no problem with that. Only thing I'm trying to get something cheaper. And she signed me up. She came to my store about 2 months in a straight, and she signed me up. I have 2 TVs, one main box, and a small one in the back. And I have the phone and the internet. And I'm paying over $300-something a month. So somebody need to tell me what's going on. Why are we being ripped off by this cable company? A lot of people don't know about this. A lot, because I have a lot of clients who are going through the same thing. They don't know about the cable commission in PG County that would help the people. We are citizens. We are working. We are working day to day to keep food on the table, pay mortgage. I pay taxes in Prince William County, property tax, business tax, everything. I live in a Pomona here. I need somebody to help me because I got to vote. When election time, I got to go out there and vote. I need somebody to find out what's going on with this cable company. Why are they ripping people off? I can't afford it. I have a son in private school up in Riverdale Baptist. I have a daughter in Towson. I'm a single mother. I can't pay. Right now, these are my bills right here. I have bills here.
What's the total that you owe?
Ma'am, I'll let you look at it, if you don't mind, because I am so pissed off right now.
Ms. Taylor, let me ask you, while you're showing her that, is your problem primarily with the security camera?
My problem is with the security camera and my bill.
And how much of your bill is attributable to the security camera?
I think the security camera is like,
The reason I'm asking that question is because this commission can only involve itself with cable TV issues. That's what we're empowered to do.
Right,
Well, may I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Taylor, you said that when the person told you that there was this package deal, did the package deal include your TV, your internet, the camera?
Everything, ma'am. Everything. Because the camera at my house, the package deal comes with one free camera. If you need an extra one, then you have to pay for that.
Right.
It's not separate. The camera and it is a package.
Okay.
Okay, so your problem is I just want to make sure I'm clear on it. Your problem with them is this camera that's not working the way you understood it was going to be working 24/7.
That's the only problem, but the main problem is my bill.
And the bill.
Yeah.
The bill is supposed to be a package for $1-something a month, and it's not. I've never gotten that bill since I have with Comcast for what they told me it's going to be.
Okay. Can we take a look at the bill to see how it relates to the
Did you already
cable?
receive a copy of the bill?
You didn't send me a copy of the bill.
What did I email you?
You emailed me just the complaint. I just took your complaint and then sent me a copy of the bill.
This is my house bill. This is my business.
dealing with the, your house,
I'm dealing with both of them.
because
Oh, okay. Yeah.
'Cause I can't pay Comcast to live on a yacht when I live and have to pay my mortgage.
Ms. Taylor, did they tell you that the $158 was going to include taxes and all of the other fees?
They never explained anything to me.
Mhm.
They never explained in details. At the shop,
Right.
the lady explained that to me.
And now, are we talking about for your home or for your business? Because these are two separate bills.
Both,
Okay, which one is the one for TV,
both
for
of them.
home?
Both of them is for one. The one for my house is the camera, the TV, the internet,
Okay,
and the phone.
right. Now, what about for your business?
It's for the TV, the phone, and the internet.
So then, in essence, you would have two separate bills. Were they
Yes.
saying that you were gonna get a package of 150, whatever it is,
158 for the shop,
for the shop?
and it's 100 and something. I don't remember off the top of my head how much a month is for the. It was one
For the home?
house.
Okay.
Yes, that's why I jumped on it.
Right.
originally, what you, when you called,
Mhm.
you had stated about your home and not business, so I don't have any document. I don't have anything documented.
Okay, yeah, I
about
talked to you about the house with the
Right,
camera.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
because the
I
business is
I
the
bought the
first-
business one
Right.
today.
Oh, okay, because I didn't know.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
okay.
Ms. Taylor, have you had any contact with customer service at Comcast?
All the time. All the time I talk to
And
them,
what's the
find out why my
response?
bill is. They telling me about all these fees and so all these stuff, and I'm like, y'all didn't tell us the fee, all these fees in here, and involved in it. And they charge you, one time they charged me $80 for late fee. If I'm late, if I'm late, I'm late because of what y'all charging me. I can't afford to pay, because if I could afford to pay, I would have stayed with Verizon. I would stay with Verizon. I'm not paying cable bill for almost my car note. That's crazy.
So you now got what bills there?
This is a home bill, and this is the
So
business
you've
one.
got both of them now, and we'll have an opportunity to talk with customer service at Comcast
Yeah, yeah.
on our behalf to see what's going on.
Well, they tried to resolve the issue with her. They offered her different options, but
He, the guy from Baltimore, this is what he said to me. He said, I'm doing you a favor, and I will take off the camera. And I said, what happened to the money that you've been charging me for the camera it's been off since last year? He said he don't have anything to do with that. I said, well, I need my money because the camera is not used. And he was very rude, so I hanged up. I don't talk to people who rude to me because I work hard.
Unless any of the other commissioners have questions or comments, I would like to suggest that we have some further conversation with you at the end of the meeting,
Yes, sir.
so that we can make sure the staff has the information they need to be in touch with Comcast and see that you work through and understand what's going on.
Yes.
Okay? All right, thank you for bringing it to our attention. Other public
the
comment?
next public comment that we have is Mr. Walter Paxton.
Good evening, folks.
Good evening.
First, I want to thank you for your service to the community. I appreciate that. And I'm sure others would appreciate it if they were aware of it too. And I want to thank the staff for their services. And then I want to begin by trying to clarify exactly what those services are, what the responsibilities are. And I believe the email that I received the other day indicated that you have no sanctions that you can employ. And unfortunately, I don't have that email with me. But to tell you a little story and back up what she was saying, when we were here for last month's meeting, it was interesting to hear how you did the minutes, because unfortunately she and I were both here for the last meeting, and we missed those minutes because you had already shut down. And shutting down as early as you do does not give folks who have to come from work an opportunity to get here. That is a problem. I understood two separate things. One was that if no citizens were here by 6:15, then you adjourn the meeting. The other, which was the most recent one, which was if you're not here, if no citizens were here by 6:05, you adjourn the meeting. And I'm not clear on what that is, but I think it would be extremely useful if you were to put together some policies that govern the operation of the commission itself, so that when people are trying to talk to others about the commission, then they have a clearer idea as to exactly what it is they're communicating. The other thing that I had a problem with was that I indicated that I would be more than willing to assist the commission in becoming exposed, because I found over a very short period of time, out of the load of people that I talked to, I only ran into one person who was even aware that a cable commission existed. And on top of that, they had no idea what kind of responsibilities a cable commission would have. Now, at the beginning of your minutes, I noticed that you were using, I don't know if it was code or whatever, in terms of what you were voting on. And I was real curious what those symbols meant that you used in the beginning. I'm not suggesting any subterfuge. They were just terms.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Go back to the beginning of the minutes. See, no minutes were read, or if they were read, I missed them entirely. So I don't know. Sitting here, I had no
Commission
idea.
members have received copies of the minutes,
Uh-huh,
and so the question was approval of the minutes,
right.
and there was a motion and a second, and so the minutes were approved from the last meeting.
What was in the minutes that were approved?
So you want to know what was in the minutes itself?
Yeah, if you're gonna,
Okay.
I assume if you're gonna approve them, that there must be something in there
Well, this
that
is a
can be.
meeting of the commission itself, so we have our minutes.
So they're not open?
If you'd like to see a copy of it, you can certainly make a request for them, but on normal,
I'd like to see-
normal operations, that's the way things work. You don't, distribute minutes to the universe.
Oh, okay, the
It's for-
organizations that I've been
It's like
with,
an internal.
we always distribute minutes.
But
to
it's a
everybody.
public document, I mean, you're certainly welcome to see it.
Exactly.
Yeah. But that's, so
Okay.
there was no code or anything, that's just.
So-
I use that
Unless we-
expression because I didn't know what else to
Yeah.
call it.
Yeah, unless we had a problem with the way that things were recorded, which no one
Yeah.
did, then we
Uh-huh.
just approved them as they were submitted.
Okay,
So it's just for us to say, yes, do you agree that that's what happened? Yes, that covers everything, yes, unless so we just approve them as they were submitted.
Just like next month in May,
Mhm.
when we come in, we're going to have the exact same conversation. What happened here in this meeting will be recorded in the minutes. We will receive the minutes and we'll be asked, do you approve what was said and what happened in the meeting in April? And we'll vote on that.
Then let me suggest that if I or other citizens are going to be here, that we also get a copy. So one, because we participated in the prior meeting, but two, so we'd have some ideas of what you're talking about.
We'll take a look at that, figure out how to make that work.
We can accommodate.
Yeah.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to mention, in fact, there's several things, but in terms of helping the commission advertise itself, if you will, because on my first meeting, there was me, one other person, and I think one person from one of the utilities, I can't recall which one it was. And I wondered why, for a meeting that was for the purpose of the public, as near as I can tell, there are so few people here from the public. So I raised the question. I was given to understand at that time that you had not been able to publicize the commission the way you would like to. Well, I offered. I said I would help. I mentioned to Rushan I would help. And I recommended the District 5 Coffee Club. And the reason I recommended it is because they have a widespread mailing list. They have a load of people who come to participate. And they've had a lot of presenters, everybody from Rushan to the police chief to the commander of Andrews to just, they have a widespread audience. That has not been able to happen. And when I made that original suggestion, I believe that was back in January, early February. And here we are in April, almost May, and it hasn't occurred yet. Gina was offered, and I appreciate your being offered, Gina. But in terms of having somebody available and present who not only has in-depth knowledge of the commission, its actions, its policies, etc., but who also is a decision maker, is extremely important. Those other people were there that I mentioned because they were decision makers. The chairman of the Judiciary Committee on the council, the chairman of the county council itself. And I believe that if you're going to put your best foot forward in terms of moving into a more public atmosphere, and I also, to be honest, I'm starting to question whether or not you want visibility or whether you prefer not to have that visibility. If there's a reason for it, share it with me, and if I believe it's a good reason, I'll help make you invisible. But up to that point, you're a public forum. And the purpose of that public forum is to, if you don't have sanctions, and I understood you don't have sanctions, if you don't have sanctions at least, you should have the ability to collect information, to analyze that information, to make a situation visible. In terms of the thing you were asking her a moment ago about, was it cable, because you can only address cable. For economies of scale, Comcast, Verizon, etc., they do as much bundling as they can. So when you talk about their payment system and their collection system, you're really talking about a bundled system. And when you dial that number, even though you might not be getting somebody in this country, you're getting somebody who's also dealing with cable, telephone, etc., all in one place, because it's a cheaper form to do it that way.
Well,
Which brings us...
I think what I'd like to say on behalf of the commission is, we're not hiding out. You know, we're here every month, we're here to serve the Prince George's County community. It's a matter of people knowing. But I think if you speak about a lot of other government agencies, county agencies, I'm sure there are some other meetings going on, and they may not be well publicized, but certainly word of mouth. In fact, I was just speaking to one of my colleagues yesterday who said she was having issues with Comcast, and I said, let me tell you what you need to do. You need to call Prince George's County Cable Commission, and there you can find some help. And she was very thankful that there was a place for her to go. So it's...
I think a lot of people would be, if they were aware that it existed. That's the whole reason we're trying to make you more visible. I agree with you.
okay. Yeah.
You know, well, how much help they'll get, I'm not in a position to speak to that, because at this point, I don't know.
Right.
I was disappointed that they had closed my case with that discussion with me, because Verizon said, and I started to wonder, what the heck is this Verizon said? Don't you talk to me before you just close it? But I'm not going to try to get into the details of that. I'd really rather stay with, does the commission at this point intend to make it visible? Can we assist them with that? Or is that something that you'd rather we keep our hands off of? I have a problem. It's
I'd
a
like to
major
say
one.
something about that, and then maybe look to staff for some additional augmentation of it. I think you probably appreciate that oftentimes it's the case that there's very little attention paid by citizens to the various services and offerings of government, of even the private system, some private sector businesses, until such time as that service is needed. So we kind of tacitly know about things in the community, but we don't pay much attention to it until the time comes when we need it. And then we begin to look around. I think it's safe to say that we can always use more help from citizens, community, anybody in publicizing the fact that we are here, that we do exist, we're not hiding out. If your efforts to try and help us with that have not been as productive as you might have liked them to be, I'm sure that we all share that. We want, all the help we can get, I think it's fair to say that we'd appreciate it. So maybe we can try that again, number one, and be real clear about what kind of presentation you're looking for, what the dates are, the location, and that sort of thing, as clear as we can be, and then maybe we can help. And I think it's fair to say, too, that I certainly would be willing, if needed, if requested, to come out and speak to the community and to speak to the various groups. And I think my colleagues share in that as well.
I raised that question in particular, and I was told that the commission would make that decision. I asked about you in particular.
Well, I think you just got your...
early on.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you just got a response to that, a positive response. Mm-hmm.
And I understand what you're saying, but I think it's important that we start to establish those kinds of relationships. Now, there's some agencies within the county government, DWPT, for instance, with Hytham over there, who's gone to great lengths to establish the kind of community contact and communications that's helping the county and working well for them. The police department with the Citizens Advisory Board, again, has gone to great lengths and has 5 or 6 different boards, all of which are active. All of which are active. The Coffee Club, the one I wanted the administrator to participate in, they've been instrumental in helping a number of organizations get the word out. And so those organizations continuously go back to the Coffee Club for additional assistance and to provide additional information, because that's the way they can get it out. WSSC, from its hierarchy, comes. I mean, that's the kind of thing that everybody wants to participate in. And again, what is needed is a decision maker and a policy maker. If we have I don't think I'm talking about Mr. McLeod. I'm talking about you specifically. You are the administrator of the Cable Commission. You would be the appropriate person. You would certainly be appropriate as well, Tom. But as the administrator, you would certainly be appropriate to be the person to be there. If there's a reason why that can happen, I don't know. I don't know whether or not it's so private I shouldn't even ask the question. But I know I embarrassed myself by trying to set it up at a time when I thought it was going to happen, because I'd asked in advance. But it's an organization that will help. As I said, I mentioned it to Rashawn in passing, and I'm going to be discussing it with him again at some point. But I would like to have the word out. It's here. Come join us.
Well, that's why we're here. We're here to serve the community. So, every month. So, not knowing, getting information out is not, I don't think that's a major problem. And certainly, for someone like yourself who'd be willing to help, it would be much appreciated.
I didn't know anything about the Cable Commission. I knew about the PEPCO, the Electric Commission, and I sat on my desk one day when I was going through all this stuff with them recently, and I just Googled Cable Commission, see if they have one, and that's when I called Miss Jean. But I have a lot of clients that going through the same thing I'm going through. They don't know anything about Cable Commission.
Well, they will now, won't they?
I'm gonna have yeah, because I have to go back and tell them.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're gonna find out. They're gonna want to know what's my result? Did you get help? Because people don't want to waste their time. Because I closed my shop this evening at 4 just to get here because I didn't want to be late. Because I had to wait a whole month to get back here. So they're going to want to know, did you get any help? So is it wasting my time coming and sitting there and just talk to the cable commission and nothing done? So we need result. We need result from this thing so we can spread it.
If you would visit a Verizon office, the billing part, or a Comcast office with its glass up in front of the public, like a bank, because folks come there angry as hell, you'd be surprised how much anger there is against those companies because of the way they operate.
Well, if I could make a suggestion and a commitment to you, and that is that one, we will certainly have some further discussion within the commission itself about what we currently do and what we might be able to do to further publicize the existence of the commission and what its role is, number one. And two, let me invite you to go back, let's start fresh with the invitation to the coffee club, all right? And let's see what we can do to ensure that we're able to be responsive. And I'll say out front, you know, not to speak for staff, but, you know, sometimes there are, you know, scheduling challenges and conflicts. But, you know, that's why I suggested that kind of being clear about what it is that you would want, what type of presentation you'd want, so that, you know, if it is something that, if the administrator can't make it and one of us can maybe step in and provide the kind of presentation you'd like. The point is that we are committed to trying to be responsive to you in whatever way we can. So if we can start fresh with that request, we'll go from there and have some internal discussion about, you know, again, how we publicize the existence and the functioning of this commission. And let's see if we can do better than perhaps we may have in the past.
I'd like to hear.
You'd like to hear what?
They agree.
Actually, I like to manage some expectations, to be perfectly honest with you. I think it's very worthwhile, first of all, to comment that when we received the invite, we did not ignore the invite. We did plan to attend. Gina was going to attend, and Gina was rejected.
Excuse me?
She was rejected by Mr. Thaxton, and that conversation became very contentious. And so my director made a decision that we would not be attending. So if one of the commissioners would like to attend, we can do that. Gina and myself had a great presentation that was going to be presented at the District 5 Coffee Club, because in an effort to publicize, we knew what we would need to bring to that forum so that we could get the commission business out in the public. And so if there's a conversation that needs to be had about the Office of Information Technology attending something that falls outside of our normal, that would need to come through my director. But as I did state to Mr. Thaxton, if one of the commissioners would like to go and attend, we could still share with you all that same presentation that was created in an effort to publicize the Cable Commission, and you all could take that and actually go out and attend.
I would like to comment on that. This is the first time I've heard about the great presentation. And I talked to you at least 2 days before the last time that I asked you to attend. I don't have the authority to reject Gina's participation, but I did talk to you because you called me regarding something I had said. I like to keep everything on the table so we know exactly what we talked about. When I talked to you and you told me, I asked you if you had actually gone yet, and you said no, but Gina would be going, and that's when I gave you my view, that I felt that the administrator and the policymaker should go, not Gina, with all due respect. You're the administrator.
I'm not a
And,
policy.
okay, well, most administrators are, in this case it's not. But what I'm trying to make clear is the level of participation becomes important. Now, your time is important, but all those people sitting around that coffee club, their time is also important. My time is important, your time is important. So if there's a reason why the administrator can't participate, then tell them that. And that's not to knock Gina in any way. It wasn't a rejection, and I said that at the time.
I think we're all on the same page, and we definitely want more exposure for the cable commission to let the community know that people are here and available to hear their complaints. So I'm thinking we're not advancing anything at this point. Now we're kind of going over the same ground over and over, and this is a conversation that might better be had offline, as it were. Would you agree?
I agree.
And then we can move our agenda along, and then we can have a conversation afterwards.
One other point I want to make, and that is the participation in this meeting of Comcast, Verizon, etc. This is my third meeting, I think. I've only been here twice before this. The Verizon rep wasn't at either of those two meetings. And as near as I can tell, what's the procedure for them being here?
They are generally here. You may have missed them on your time, and we're about to lose our representative right now, our Comcast representative. So Mr. Chairman, would you recommend that we hear from our Comcast representative? Because we don't want to miss her.
And I wanted to thank you, because what you did was what I was trying to do.
Okay.
So
you need to be a reporter in these cases.
Okay. So our next agenda item is to hear from the Comcast representative.
Ms. Carmen Brown.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Thank you for being with us.
And I apologize, but tonight my son has an honor ceremony, so, and that's at 7:30, so I have to go home and grab him. He's getting dressed and then get him to his school. I certainly would like to say something here on your behalf, because
Thank you.
I have been doing cable commission meetings since the 1980s, and I think this commission and certainly staff has gone to great lengths to publicize this body. For instance, I was on the county website just the other day, and there is information there that talks about the cable commission, what you do, the types of things that you can address and resolve. This meeting has been being streamed for quite a while, so there has been a tremendous amount of work that has been done to raise the awareness of this body and the help that they are able to give to citizens. So I will say that from the company standpoint, because I have worked with you and certainly all of the different members of the commission for a very long time. So we work together, and again, we try to do everything we can as well to make sure that people understand that they're not always going to like the answers that they get from the company. They do have someplace else that they can go. That it's on the bills. It's been there forever. It's a requirement. So again, there are lots and lots of reasons certainly why people don't necessarily take advantage of it. But again, I do applaud certainly staff's efforts and the things that they have done over the course of the years. So I do not have a report this evening. So I don't think there's really anything. But anyway.
Could you share with us why you think there are no people here now? Or the other times?
Sir, people do come. People do come, but also, a lot of people, when staff resolves their issue, they don't necessarily then feel the need to come. I will also say that, people have very, very busy lives, and so when they can work with staff and then work with us and we can resolve issues and complaints are closed, then, there's not always that need. Now, when things are not resolved, then people come. So anyway, unfortunately, I know you're going to take this offline. I have given Ms. Taylor my card, and so I will see what I can do to try to work with her. But I must go to get this young man.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening, and I'll see you next month.
Okay.
All right.
No, people do come.
Well, I
to the
was going to
meetings.
say too,
Yeah.
that one of my first meetings, someone came back to say,
My complaint was resolved successfully, and I know so many times people come because it wasn't, but I'm here to say it was done, and thank you. And that was recorded, thank goodness. So,
I hope mine will resolve.
yes.
Yeah.
And I don't have to come back.
This is my third meeting in 4 months. Of those 3 meetings, participation has been slim to none at all. So I'm not suggesting that people don't come. What I am
They're just not
suggesting
packing the place
is
out.
my exposure to it firsthand does not support that at this point in time.
Okay, that's fair.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have said, I'll help you.
No, that's very fair. No, we have not been packed out in the time that I've been a commissioner. The room has not been packed, I can say that. But I know that people do come, they register their complaints, and in this case, they registered that they were happy. But generally, they come because they have a complaint, and that's why we're here. We need to, to hear them. They've already talked to the staff, and the staff is at work trying to resolve the issue. So, we're just gonna have to get you to come on. You gotta come every month. Every month. Every
Keeps
month.
up with me. She calls me and she emails me and make sure I'm coming
Yeah.
to the meeting and stuff. So.
Right.
Okay.
I think I just want to thank you for coming. All the points you have raised are well noted on papers. And if there's anyone that we think probably we're going to make some follow-up with you, if you come here, we do that. If you don't come here, then we will get in touch with you.
I just had a quick thing to close it out and maybe at least put an idea out on the table that moves things forward. Is the municipalities themselves, most of them, have a newsletter. And I'm assuming that that could be an avenue. I know Land Hills, we have a newsletter that we could put a blurb in every month or bi-monthly. We're now doing bi-monthly. Many municipalities are still monthly. That just mentions the commission, the day of the week and the time that it meets, and then they just, that becomes a part of their newsletter every month. Would that be something that we could pursue?
So I would caution you from doing that because each municipality has its own franchise agreement.
Well, right.
So by language in the franchise agreement, Prince George's County, this body can only hear Prince George's proper cable television complaints. So if you live in the city of Bowie and you come here, if you call Gina or if you register a complaint, we'll go ahead and follow it through, right? But this body, if someone comes before the body and they live in a municipality, what's most likely going to happen is that when Comcast and or Verizon representatives stand up to talk about it, what the first thing they're going to say is you have to vet this problem through your municipal franchise agreement.
Right.
That's what's going to be said.
Does either of those jurisdictions have their own cable commission?
Most of them do.
So you're saying if you deal with only Prince
Prince
George's
George's
County?
County.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because if you bring somebody else, they're taking up more revenues from Prince George's County instead of, Bowie comes over here, they will, you have to deal with Bowie
Well,
people.
No, they
Bowie's
have
in
their
Prince
own.
George's, but
Yeah.
they have their own agreement.
They have
Right,
their
that's
own
what I'm
agreement.
saying.
Right. Right.
I'm not sure what you mean by Prince George's proper.
So
Are you
the
talking about all those areas outside of the existing municipalities?
yes.
So anything inside those municipalities, you guys have nothing to do with?
If they have
That's
their own
what I hear you
agreement.
say.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Okay, so if we can continue to move through our agenda. We don't have a representative from Verizon here this evening.
No, we received notification from her that she will not be attending.
Okay. Thank you. And so the next agenda item is the comments from our commissioners.
No, we appreciate certainly our community coming in and registering their complaints or their concerns or their happiness.
Has the
When their
Verizon
problems are solved.
representative attended this year?
Yes.
Yes.
We have to make it
3
happen.
meetings I've been to, the Verizon representative was not present. And this is the 4th meeting, isn't it?
Let me say I haven't been keeping personal track of it, but you should know that they submit a written report, and in addition to being present at the meeting.
I haven't met them yet.
And, yeah, and in fact, if I'm not mistaken, your first meeting that I was here and you were here, they were sitting behind you, if I'm not mistaken. But they're normally, just for the record, they're normally,
Didn't come for a variety of reasons, but
they're normally here.
Yeah.
They're normally here. Okay.
Okay.
is there any requirement that they attend the meetings? Do they have any responsibility to be there, or are they simply doing us a favor by coming?
I don't think they're doing us a favor. I think they see the importance of and the value in being here, since this is the place where they hear from their customers. Another opportunity for them to hear from their customers about the service that they're providing. So, they don't shy away from my experience here. They don't shy. They're usually right here and they listen, and they oftentimes will engage in conversation with the people who come forward with complaints or concerns, to gather information and then be in direct contact with them for follow-up.
Ms. Taylor, you're going to hear from Ms. Brown. Yeah. She gave you her card. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Any other comments from commissioners? Hearing none, our next meeting is scheduled for the 25th of May, I believe.
Yes. Yep.
And I look forward to seeing everyone at that meeting. And if there's no further business, we will adjourn.
Okay.
I have a motion
I move that we adjourn our meeting.
and a second. So moved. Hearing no objections, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Okay.